So we'll take up the next one, that is the ninth one. Esha hi drashta sprashta
Esha hi drashta sprashta
shrota grata
Shrota grata
rasayita manta
Rasayita manta
bodha karta
Bodha karta
vijnanatma purushah
Vijnanatma Purushaha
saparekshara
Saparekshara
atmani sampratishthate.
Atmani Sampratishtate.
So here we have to read first Vijnan Atma Purushaha. So the knowing soul, Vijnana means knowing, that which is conscious. That soul, that is the drashta, the seer, the sprashta, the toucher, the feeler, the shrota, the listener, the grata, the smeller, the taster, the perceiver, the thinker, and the doer. Okay, so all the senses, the karmendriyas are put under doer. So everything which we read in the previous one is not listed again here, but the idea is given to you that all the jnana which is coming from the jnanendriyas and all the karma which is being done by the karmendriyas, who is doing it? Finally, it is the soul only. Okay, that is the conscious element which is outside it, which is not being listed as deva anywhere. So the previous list was of the devas. This now we are talking of the purusha, the soul. Now that soul, saha pare akshare atman sampratishtate. That soul is located, well established in the even superior soul, which is God. Okay.
What exactly Akshare here is meaning?
Akshara. Thank you. So Akshara means that which cannot be cut, which cannot be destroyed. Okay, so that is why God is often called Akshara. The same is actually true of the soul as well, because the soul cannot be destroyed and it cannot be cut or split into parts. It is also one and indestructible. But in this particular instance, it is being referred to for God.
No, even with pare that is implied. Pare Akshare. Okay, very good. Yeah.
So why is the adjective akshare only used in this case? Just to emphasize that, the Paramatma can never be broken into pieces or something like that?
Pare is also being used. So pare, beyond.
Okay. That is beyond. That I understand. It is not the normal Atma.
Beyond the soul meaning
beyond the Jivan Atma.
Soul.
Yeah.
Subtler than the soul, greater than the soul. And Akshara is being said because the soul is getting linked to this body which is Kshara. Okay, which is destructible. Okay. So to that extent, it has a connection with a destructible part. Though it itself, its pure form is indestructible, but it does get associated with something which is destructible. So therefore, we are showing the differentiation between this soul and that soul. Okay, both are called Purushas or Atmas, but because they are conscious elements. Okay, but this is the soul, and that is the thing. That is why in this seventh one, I had told you very clearly, I have no doubt over there. That is why I tell you, see, when I can see by context that it is not right, that first you say that these are all located within God, and then you in the next Kandika itself, you say that they are all dependent on the soul, and then again you go back and you say that the soul is located in Paramatma. So this shift which happens. I don't know why the interpreters don't see the conflict between this. So in such cases, I am able to tell you very confidently that this is the correct meaning here, and where some numbers are given and we are only left to guess what it is. There I don't try to cook up too many things. So mine is not cooked up. That is what I'm trying to tell you. When I'm confident, I tell you so. So in the seventh one, everything was dependent on the soul, and now we are being told that the soul itself is situated in God and is dependent on God. See, that is not to say that those things are not dependent on God. The things which are outside the body, the Panchamahabhutas, etc., are also dependent on God. They are well established in God directly. Okay, because God is the subtlest element which is there, and everything is dependent on Him. But here we are seeing the progression, because in the body it is the soul which is the first element which provides consciousness to the body, and then it is God on whom the soul is dependent. Once God decides, okay, it's time for you to leave this residence, then the soul can do nothing about it. It has to leave, and it has to enter wherever God decides as well.
So basically, the hierarchy is established.
Yes.
These are untouchable, but the soul is also dependent on the God, right?
Correct, exactly. You're right. Okay, next one. That is the 10th one. Paramevaksharam pratipadyate
Paramevaksharam pratipadyate
Pratipadyate
sayohave
Sayohave
tadachayam
tadachayam
ashariram alohitam
ashariram
Ashariram
alohitam
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 shubhramaksharam vedayate
shubram
Shubhram
aksharam
aksharam
vedayate
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 yastu somya
yastu
Yastu
saumya
somya
sarvajnaha sarvo bhavati
sarvajnaha
Sarvajnaha
sarvo
sarvo
bhavati
bhavati
tadesha shlokaha.
tadesha
Tadesha
shlokaha.
shlokaha.
So now he is having given all the information, answered all the questions and a little more, because he could have stopped at the 8th one itself and need not have told that where is the soul situated. But he tells us that as well, that the soul itself is established in God. So now, having brought God into the picture, so far God was not really in the picture. Now he has been brought in after having cleared all of inanimate matter plus the soul. So now he says that yaha saha parameva aksharam. The one who comes to know that param aksharam, who is a chayam, without a shadow. That means it doesn't have any physical existence, that God. A shariram, without a body. A lohitam. Again, a lohit means red. Okay. So Sat Chit, Sat, Raja and Tama.
Rajastama.
The three properties of the original pradhana, which is the original matter, primordial. The three properties of that are also linked with colors, that is red, white, and black. So Tama is black, Sata is white, and Raja is linked with red. So when we say he is non-red, he is not red, we also imply that he doesn't have any association with matter as a whole. Shubram, who is pure. Aksharam, again it is repeated, the one who cannot be destroyed. The one who knows him as such, that God, yastu somya, that person or pupil, sa sarvajnaha sarvo bhavati. He becomes the knower of all and he becomes everything himself. Sarvaha bhavati. Okay, so this again is little tricky here. When you say sarvajna, okay, it does not mean that you become like God and you become omniscient. No. Sarva itself means God. Okay, God has been called Sarva, as we shall see in the next verse, that God is called Sarva very clearly in that. Here it is a little hidden, and that is why the interpretations have gone in one direction. But basically, you come to know that Sarva, that which is everything, and therefore you become the knower of everything, and you yourself become everything. You again yourself don't become everything literally. It is that in association with him, you get some of his properties as well, his purity, his nyaya, this justice which he does, his fairness, his peacefulness, his blissfulness, all those things you also acquire. So that is why you also become everything. Okay. Okay.
Why he's concluding Tadesha Shlokaha? There was any context where he had
Sorry.
started?
I didn't cover that bit. Tadesha Shloka, again, the next shloka, the following shloka says this. What I have said is said in this particular verse, which essentially is saying that this is taken from another source. That source is not available to us today. Okay, so just like we have encountered, right, couple of times earlier.
Yeah. Now I got it.
Yeah.
So when he gives some explanation, he wants to give an upama with somebody else's beautiful verse. Oh.
Not upama, pramana.
Reference.
Pramana.
Yeah, he gives it with an existing authority. So this is how actually you should figure out a guru, from a non-guru. When a guru gives you a pramana for whatever they are saying, because there is, other than whatever is happening on a day-to-day basis, what is happening with you and what is happening with me, these eternal truths are eternal. And it is not as if they have appeared to this particular guru who is in front of you and is saying, I am saying this. These have been documented over time and it's all available. And that is why we bow to the Guru Shishya Parampara, because that knowledge has always existed. And it was known at the beginning and started getting transferred from the sages who learned the Vedas. From then onwards, that knowledge is being passed down. If anything, that knowledge is only getting diluted. So those gurus who say, I have discovered this is new knowledge which I am giving you, immediately you should say, okay, this is not a good guru. Okay, and the right guru will tell you that this is what has been said. Vijnanatma saha devascha sarvah. Okay, wait, let me go slowly. Vijnanatma saha
Vijnanatma saha
devascha sarvah
devascha sarvah
pranabhutani
pranabhutani
sampratishtanti yatra
Sampratishtanti yatra
tadaksharam vedayate
tadaksharam vedayate
yastu somya
yastu somya
sa sarvajnaha
sa sarvajnyaha
sarvameva vivesheti.
Sarvameva vivesheti.
So Vijnan Atma Saha Devascha Devaha cha Sarvah. pranaha bhutani sampratishtanti yatra. So where the conscious soul, Vijnan Atma, along with the devas, all the pranas. So devas here refer to only the 10 senses. Then the pranas, the 5 pranas. Then the bhutani and their tanamatras. Okay, so the pancha mahabhutas as well as the pancha sukshma bhutas, where they find support. Tad aksharam vedayate. Yaha, the one who knows that indestructible one, that is God. So he knows that support, which is God. Somya, oh dear student, sa sarvajnaha sarvam eva aviveshati. Avivesha iti. So that person who sees this receptacle or this support for everything, that person becomes a sarvajnaha and enters everything. So this entering of everything, that sarvam avivesha, that sarvam there is God, which everybody agrees to, okay, which is not my this thing. So God only is called everything because everything is finally residing in him. He is the support of everything. Therefore, he is being called everything. It is not that he is actually physically everything. It is because everything is taking support in him. That is why he himself is being called Sarva. And the one who has come to know this Sarva is called Sarvajnaha, which is the ultimate goal of our life, that we achieve that Sarvajnaha. Okay, any questions here?
I just want to understand the total meaning, complete meaning once. Just.
Yeah, sure. We'll do overall, but this part is okay. Okay, so let us
Actually,
go.
I like the way he qualifies Atma with Vijnan Atma. That means a conscious, like you translated beautifully, conscious soul.
So,
It's good, not
yeah,
just some anybody.
correct. Yes, it's very beautiful. And separating it from Sarva or Akshara.
This is not the last verse. Usually the last word gets repeated, no, in the verse.
Yes, that is also correct. You got it. So iti over here is all that is written, and that ends both the quoted verse as well as the chapter. So it has not been repeated because probably it was falling out of meter. See, this is Prashnopanishad meter, no? So if he had repeated Avivesha, then it would have fallen out. That is why he didn't have room. So he just ends it with an iti.
Iti.
Okay. So see here we have gone over the devas in this chapter. That is the constituents of this body, which includes all the physical elements, of which prana is a very special physical element which is there. That is why it was not listed first, but is brought out later. And prana also has 2 parts to it. One is a subtle prana and one is a gross prana, that is the vayu. So vayu itself is prana, and there is a subtle element to it as well. See, vayu also you must not understand it as only air or gas, but force itself is vayu. That is why the force, life force, the force which is impelling everything within our body, which is causing all movements inside our body, all involuntary actions which are happening, those are happening through prana, as well as voluntary actions are also associated with prana, because all muscle movement, the speech, everything is gets its power from prana. So both voluntary and involuntary movements are happening based on prana. So then we saw the sleep state, and we looked at what is it that sleeps, what is it that wakes, and what is it that watches dreams. So firstly, by implication, the sage has told you the three stages of consciousness which are available to all beings. That is Jagrati, Swapnavastha, and Sushupti. So these are available to all beings. There is a fourth state which is called a Turiya Avastha, which is the state of meditation, which is available to human beings in particular, actually human beings only, when they sit in deep meditation in Samadhi. So that has not been mentioned over here because that is not commonly available. And then we asked, who is it that is experiencing the pleasure of Sushupti? And from that, we moved on to the support, which is the soul. So we needed to know where all this was finally residing, whether it is awake or asleep. Where are all these devas actually taking their support from? And that we learned is from the soul. And then we discovered that the soul itself has a support, and that is God. Okay, and so there we should not stop over there. And the Rishi's context is to show you the hierarchy of support. So Prithvi is taking support in its Tan Matra, and so each element is taking support in its atom. This Tan Matra, yeah, should explain for the students who are new. It should be perceived, these Tan Matras of all the elements, is you should understand it as the atom of that element. Our ancients believed, see, they came out with these 5 elements which became accepted all over the world, and that's why you find the whole world says 5 elements. Though ignorance has set in some places, and some places like China, they have brought in wood, etc., into elements. The fact remains that 5 elements spread to whichever part of the world Vedic knowledge moved to. And you will hear, wherever you hear elements, you will hear the number 5 associated with it. Okay, so the 5 elements came because of the 5 senses. So each of the sense, it grasps.
Shanti, you need to mute. Some sounds are coming from your side.
So Shanti is muted, everybody is muted. Okay, so the one who is this, each senses one element, and that is why we came to 5 senses are clear. Okay, that anybody can figure out if they think about it, that we see with our eyes, we hear with our ears, we smell with our nose, we taste with our this thing, and we feel. Okay, there is no other sense which is there. So how does my tongue taste only certain things? And why does it only taste? Why does it not see? Why does my eye only see? Why does it not taste? So like this, they said that there must be some particular thing which the eye is able to see and is not able to sense the other things. So therefore, they called it 5 elements. Okay, and based on that only the properties are given. For example, for the eye, it has teja in it. Tej is your light. Okay, so light allows a form to be seen. Light by itself, impacts the retina and is seen as its presence is felt by the eye. So that is why teja is connected with rupa, which is sensed by the eye. Okay, so like that you can see for all the senses, you can please study the chart and see how it links up. Now they said that if it is able to sense, the nose is able to smell only particular things, then there must be something specific in them which causes this smell sensation. So that they call the atom of smell, which is called Tanmatra or Grana Matra, as we saw here. So like that, for every sense, they for every jnanendriya, not karmendriya, okay, because karmendriya is not sensing. So for everything, the five things which are being sensed, they said there must be a common denominator for all of them, that we are able to perceive those. That they called tanmatra, which actually I hope somebody does research on it one day. Just like the atom was, has been told in our ancient texts, for each element which exists, like iron or oxygen, hydrogen, etc. Similarly, this is proposing that there is a common basic thing which the nose senses, which exists in all the things in which the nose senses. This is actually a remarkable thing if you think about it, that they are proposing an atom for each of the senses. So that is what is meant by tanmatra, and so that is also given over here. So the Rishi has in that one verse listed down all the elements of Sankhya. Okay, is there anything else?
You kind of mean like unified multidimensional space of let us say taste, like uh, bitterness, sweetness, etc., all in some directions. Okay.
So he said that there must be something specific in them. Just like, if you wipe out all your knowledge and you say that, okay, this is paper, so there must be, initially, you may not have this thought. You have to do a lot of thinking to think that, okay, if I keep cutting this, cutting this, cutting this, finally I have to come to something after which there'll be no paper. So that must be that atom which makes paper. Okay, so that is how they proposed the paramanu, which again was received by the whole world, and today nobody remembers that it has come from India, but it is from Indian thinkers who said that every element has a lowest common thing. And they also proposed molecules, by the way. So they were called Trasarenu and so on, Dvayanumu and Trasarenu. So 2 atoms, 3 atom molecules, etc., were also given. We don't have all the texts. We just have Upanishads, which are basically spiritual texts. So all that is a separate line. And now you are saying that for everything that is smelt, there is an atom which causes that to be smelt. Everything which is tasted, there is an atom which causes it to be tasted, and so on. So that is also very remarkable, I should say. I can't even think of what it is. It could be, in our modern context. I cannot place my finger on what that could be. But that is what they are saying, that it is an element there. Okay, let us say our prayer then. ॐ श्रद्धां प्रातर्हवामहे
हवामहे
Sorry, I didn't unmute.
Okay, let us start again. ॐ श्रद्धां प्रातर्हवामहे
Om Shraddham
प्रातर्हवामहे
श्रद्धां मध्यन्दिनं परि
Shraddham
दिनं परि
श्रद्धां सूर्यस्य निमृचि
Shraddham
श्रद्धे श्रद्धापयेह नः
Shraddhe
Shraddhe
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति
Shanti.
Shanti.